Hello, Washington Intermediate Thunderbirds, and welcome to the WIS Library. My name is Mrs. Turner, and I am your teacher librarian for the 2018 and 2019 school year. As your teacher librarian, I'm here to help you with any of your book or research needs. You'll not only see me here in the library, but also in your classrooms, either teaching lessons alongside your teachers or helping you with projects. In the library, you will also find two other library technicians to help with any of your library needs. Mrs. Glandon, Mrs. Garza, and I are here to help you locate books, look up books using the Destiny online system, help with using our online database system for all your research needs, check books in and out to you, and so much more. The hours of the library are 7:30 a.m. to 4 o'clock p.m. Before school, during breaks, lunch, and after school, feel free to visit us without needing a pass. If you'd like to visit us during classroom hours, please have your teacher write a pass to the library. Before school, lunch, and after school, we offer a variety of fun activities and makerspace activities, so feel free to come on in and ask us to use those, or just go ahead and use them since they might even be out anyways. We have new books coming in every month as well, and we're always wanting to talk about our newest editions. We hope to see you all soon. For this section, we're going to be showing you our library. So here it goes. So, did you catch it? If not, that's okay. We're going to go ahead and look at the library in each of its sections. As you go ahead and come into the library, what you're going to see here on your right-hand side is a big section that we call the nonfiction section. In the nonfiction section, you're going to see that each of the call numbers in this area are designated by numbers. This is our 000s all the way up to our 900s. Each of these sections are broken into subjects, and we would love to help you find out what those subjects are. This next section is called the fiction section. Here in the fiction section of the library, we have little displays everywhere that kind of highlight some of our books that we feel that you may be very interested in. You'll see that the books are all along the back wall, and these call numbers, you're going to be able to find the books by the number FIC and then the first three letters of the author's name. You'll also see that there are tables and chairs here for you to use as well, that you can come in and enjoy the library. And you'll also see that there are desktops right over here to the left-hand side. This is our circulation desk. At our circulation desk, you can ask for help, or you can check in and check out your books. You can ask our library technicians, which are normally behind this desk if they're not roaming around, for any help that you need. As we continue on through the library here on the left-hand side, you'll see that we also have books that are pulled out in case you have any wants or desires. We can do a display for you here. And then right over here on this far wall is our reference center. This area of the library, called the reference area, has things that include dictionaries, almanacs, world books, encyclopedias, and all of these things are here for you to have at your disposal for research. You cannot check these books out, but they are here for you to use. We really hope that you enjoyed our tour of the library. We are open from 7:30 to 4, so please don't forget and come on in. We look forward to seeing you. In this section, we will be talking about what print and electronic resources we have available for you. In the library, we have many print and electronic resources available. Some of these items are housed physically here in the library, while others are actually digital and can be found online. Here in the library, we have resources for you that include print books and computers or Chromebooks. If you're looking for resources to use for a project, you are more than likely going to be looking in one of two places. The first place may be here in the nonfiction section. Here in the nonfiction section of the library, you will find that the books are separated into sections. These sections are classified by numbers located on the spine, and this is called the call number. The call number helps you to find books either by looking them up on our online cataloging system, Destiny, or by perusing them on your own. These sections are broken down as follows. The 000s, computer science, information, and general works. 100s, philosophy and psychology. The 200s, religion. The 300s, social sciences. 400s, language. 500s, science. 600, technology. 700s, arts and recreation. 800, literature. And 900, history and geography. So how does this work? Well, there's hundreds are then broken down into tens to help subdivide these major categories. So let's take the 500s for example. The 500 category is labeled as the science category, but in this category, under 510, you will find subjects on mathematics. Under 550, you will find books based on earth sciences and geology. And in the 590 subcategory, you will find books on animals or zoology. So if you're searching for a book on cells for a class, you would look in the 500 category, but with the subcategory of 570, because that's biology. You can either use these books in the library or you can check them out at the circulation desk. The other area of the library you may look at for books to use in your paper or project is the reference section. This section of the library is where you will find our encyclopedias, almanacs, dictionaries, and more. These books you're not able to check out, so if you would like to use these items, we encourage you to utilize one of our many desks that we have available and do some research here in the library. If you are unable to come to the library for any reason, we do have a large assortment of online resources for you. And you can find these at our DUSD Library Services website, and this link can be found on your school site's homepage. Once you enter the website, visit the Student Resources tab where you can find all of your resources, and you can either click there by coming here to Student Resources or to the left-hand menu here. Once you get to this point, you can scroll down to the bottom, and you can find the resources are labeled K through 6, 7, 8, and 9 through 12. In this case, we'll go ahead and look at our 7-8 resources. As you scroll down the list of resources, you can access all of them by clicking directly on the logo. And if for any reason you have any issues accessing these, please come to the library the next day and we can help you. If you are accessing these resources on a school campus, you do not need a login for most of the sites. However, if you are trying to use these resources at home, the login information will be located down here at the bottom underneath each logo. Available to you, we have BrainPop, Discovery Education, Tumblebook Cloud, Research in Context, Biography in Context, Science in Context, Student Resources in Context, Opposing Viewpoints in Context, ProQuest Culturegrams, eLibrary, ProQuest Central, SIRS Discoverer, SIRS Issues Researcher, Researcher Companion, eBook Central, and Britannica School, and TeachingBooks.net. So I know that was a lot, so let's take a look at a few of these. Databases are great because all the content is vetted content, which means that it is a source you can trust. Discovery Education has a lot of content for you. It's not just stuff to read either. You can find photos and videos as well. The nice thing about using a database like Discovery Education is that you can find citations here. These may not be 100% accurate, but at least you can have it written down and look it over later. You can also add much of this content to your Google Drive so you can sort through it later. Tumblebook Cloud is a great way for you to get some more reading in. This is where you can get ebooks from, and there's a lot to offer. From fiction and nonfiction to graphic novels, you may find something that you really enjoy and it's right at your fingertips. All of our Gale products are similar in many ways. First, you can send content to your Google Drive, just like Discovery Education. And second, you can also find citations, just like Discovery Education. But with your Gale resources, you can find content that's more specific. We have Researcher in Context that has videos, newspapers, magazines, primary sources, and so much more. Topics you can search for include cultures, government, people, US and world history, and more. Biography in Context has engaging content that is specific to biographies from some of the world's most influential people. Science in Context has great content for all areas of science, and you can find academic journals, which are primary sources. Student Resources in Context is a great cross-curricular database to help you do research for your assignments. And Opposing Viewpoints is a wonderful database to help you gain views from both sides of an argument. Our ProQuest databases are very similar as well. You can save to your Google Drive and find citations. In Culturegrams, you can find relevant and accurate information about countries around the world. From countries to US states to provinces, you can find concise information about all of these areas. There is general information like populations or national anthems, all the way to history timelines. eLibrary helps to simplify the research process by helping to find information easier that supports your research claims. ProQuest Central Student is a place for you to find information about your content areas like science, technology, education, social sciences, humanities, and more. SIRS Discoverer offers different resources for your assignments like articles, images, and even reliable websites. SIRS Issues Researcher helps you to find research on some hot topics in our news and society today. This content is updated daily and brings you the newest information about topics that you care about. Researcher Central can then help you add all this together for a paper. It helps you to build your paper so you can focus on the content and not always just how to build it. This is a hands-on tool, and it also helps with editing. And lastly, for ProQuest, we have our eBook Central, and this has access to online books that have to deal with the content areas that you're studying now. Moving on, we have Britannica School, which is an online encyclopedia. This can help you find reliable material that is here from experts, scholars, educators, and instructional designers, and so many more. This resource is also offered in Spanish as well. And lastly, we have teachingbooks.net. This website may not have books online that you can read, but it does have information about the books you're reading in class. And also, on a fun note, you can use this to maybe find a book that you may want to read in the future. Though this is a long list and may seem very overwhelming, all you need to do is remember that all these resources are available to you in print and electronic formats. And the best way to learn where to start is by asking for help. Either myself, Mrs. Turner, or someone from the library staff are here to help you with all of your research and database needs. Do not hesitate to come in and ask us for some help. In this section, we will be talking about the library's website and catalog. Since there is so much to go over, I'm going to break it down into two parts. Part 1 will be an overview of our DUSD Library Services website, and Part 2 is going to be about our online cataloging system. I'm also going to break down Part 1 as there are certain resources that are just for our teachers. So, in this Part 1 of Section 4, I'm going to be specifically talking to our teachers. All right, teachers, I know that there's a lot on here, so bear with me as we go through all of this. I know many of you will be able to navigate the site on your own and to find what you need. However, if you feel like you might need some help locating items on this page, please don't forget that you can always email me and I'll be able to help. So let's jump right on in. To find the link to the DUSD Library Services website, you can either go to the DUSD main page, look under Departments, and find Curriculum, and then scroll all the way down to the left-hand menu under Library Services. Once here, you're going to see my information, Lydia Vasquez's information, our district library technician, and a little bit of information, a link to our Follow at Destiny page, and our DUSD Library Services page. You can also find this website when you go to select a school and you go to your school site. In this case, I will use Grandview Elementary, and you go to the Library tab right up here at the top. Once you click on that, you'll notice it's the same exact information, my information, but you'll also notice that you are going to be able to locate your school site library staff members as well. And it's the same information in the middle, our Library Follow at Destiny, OPAC online system, and our DUSD Library Services page. After locating the link and clicking on it, you will find you are brought to the home page. You will see right up here at the top the links to the student resources and the teacher resources. However, let's look at what other information you might find on the home page. You will see some information regarding the DUSD Library Services, who we are, what we do, what we stand for, things like this. Maybe you've never heard of this before, or maybe you have and still don't know what we do. Well, here you can find some of this information out. Here on this page, you can meet the team. You can also figure out a little bit more about what it is that I do as a teacher librarian. If you scroll all the way down to the bottom, after passing all of our library team members, there's a brief description of what it means to be a teacher librarian and what my job encompasses. Also on the home page, underneath that, you will see all of your school site logos. If I hover my arrow over these pictures, the little white arrow turns into a little white glove. This indicates that this is a link. All of our school logos bring you to your Follow at Destiny Discovered page, our OPAC system, and we're going to go over more of that later. Over on the left-hand menu, the word is highlighted in green, and this indicates that that's the page we're currently on. So let's go to the next page, Digital Citizenship. Here, we will build this page together to create a page of resources to help aid you in teaching digital citizenship to your students. Here you will find some free lessons, videos, and even internet games. There are also parent resources for you to encourage your parents to look at. Some things like internet safety agreement forms and websites for your parents to utilize. If there's something that you really enjoy in terms of teaching digital citizenship, please don't hesitate to email it to me, and I will put it right on this page for you. If we click on the next page in the left-hand menu, Students, you will see some neat information for your students right up at the top in the widgets. These widgets are from one of our online resources called teachingbooks.net. You will also see another link to our OPAC system, Fall at Destiny, and under that, you will find the links to our student resources. Our student resources are broken down into the following: K through 6, 7, 8, and 9 through 12. Have your students click on the appropriate link so as to access their resources. On the left-hand menu, you will also see a document link under the Students tab. Here, you will find the DUSD Acceptable Use Policy as per our DUSD board agreements. This was given to you and your students at the beginning of the year in their handbook, and you can find the agreement form at the very bottom. Underneath this is our staff page. This is for you, so there's a lot to go over, and so let's just dive right on in. If you notice right up at the top, there is a Google link, this one highlighted in green. This is for you. This is your website for you and your students. So if you have any suggestions or things that you'd like to see on the website, please give some feedback. Next, you will once again see the link to our OPAC system, Fall at Destiny. And next to that are two areas, our Makerspace link and our Classbook Set link. At each of your school site libraries, you will find a plethora of current and relevant print materials available for you, the teacher or staff member to check out and use in lessons or just to check out for your students. However, at our Teacher Resource Center office, we have even more for you. Makerspace is a new coined term in the library world, but here on this page, we offer a ton of supplemental materials you might find interesting to use in your classroom. These can be items like STEAM kits, STEM kits, things along those lines. We have items like Ozobots, Lego Mindstorm kits, Lego We Do 2.0 kits, Cublets, Bebots, Snap Circuits, Breakout EDU boxes, and so much more. If you ever find anything online or at a conference and want to see it as an item you would like to check out here in DUSD, please ask for it. We love purchasing items that you want to use. So make sure you check back here often as we're always getting new items. As for our class book sets, currently we offer 3rd through 6th grade. The middle school and high school have a list of books you can utilize at your school sites. However, do not hesitate to send me an email asking for which books you would like to see as a class set. This goes for K through 6. There's also instructions right up here at the bottom for how to check these books out. As I mentioned before, your site library has a plethora of current and relevant print materials for you. But if you are looking for a specific book in your library and we don't seem to carry it, well, here's your chance to ask for that book. By clicking on this link, you can ask for a specific book or books in your library that you'd like to see today. The more you request, the more we know what to get you. And of course, last but definitely not least, the online resources. Once again, you will see them broken into grades, K through 6, 7 through 8, and 9 through 12. Once you click on the correct grade level that you'd like to access, you can see the list of resources that we recommend are for those age ranges. And once again, don't ever hesitate to email me or call me if you need any further assistance. In this part 1 of section 4, we're going to be specifically talking to our students. There's going to be a lot to go over in this website, so if they ever need any help, please don't ever hesitate to ask. You can either come ask me or one of your site library technicians. So let's just jump right on into the website. To find the link to the DUSD Library Services website, you can either go to the DUSD main page, look under Departments, and find Curriculum, and then scroll all the way down to the left-hand menu under Library Services. Once here, you're going to see my information, Lydia Vasquez's information, our district library technician, and a little bit of information, a link to our Fall at Destiny page, and our DUSD Library Services page. You can also find this website when you go to select a school and you go to your school site. In this case, I will use Grandview Elementary. And you go to the library tab right up here at the top. Once you click on that, you'll notice it's the same exact information, my information, but you'll also notice that you are going to be able to locate your school site library staff members as well. And it's the same information in the middle, our library Follow It Destiny, OPAC online system, and our DUSD Library Services page. Once you locate the link to the DUSD Library Services website, it'll take you directly to this homepage. And right on that homepage is going to be your link right up at the top for your student resources. However, you can also find it one other way. Right over here on the left-hand side menu, you'll notice that things are highlighted in green when my mouse scrolls over them. However, right now home is highlighted in green because that indicates the current page that we're on. If you don't want to click on student resources here, but you want to see what else is also on this home page, you can go scroll through it. And if you notice right down here at the bottom, you'll see all of our school site logos. All of our school site logos are on here. And once my arrow cursor scrolls over a picture, you'll notice that it goes into a little white glove. That white glove indicates that it is a link. And that link is going to take you to our OPAC system, Follow It Destiny Discovered. But let's go ahead and look at our student resources. And let's get there by our left-hand side menu. We'll click on Students. This is going to be your home page. You'll see up right here at the top that there are some fun little widgets for you. These widgets are going to be some of our books that we may recommend from teachingbooks.net, or a really neat little calendar talking about World Mental Health Day and other events in October. If you scroll down, you'll notice that once again there's a link to our OPAC system, Follow It Destiny. And right down here is your resources. Your resources are broken up into 3 separate categories, K through 6, 7, 8, and 9, 12. If you go ahead and click directly on this, you'll see that we have 2 separate areas, school resources and online databases. Please don't forget that all of these things can be accessed either from a computer on a school site or at home. But depending on where you are, depends on if you're going to need a login or not. So please make sure that you're always reading what we have to offer you in terms of what the resource or database may be, and if you need a password and username in order to get in. If there ever hit any roadblocks with how to get onto an online resource or database, please don't hesitate to email me. You can find my email address right up here at the top. In part 2 of section 4, we'll be going over our OPAC system, our online public access catalog, otherwise known as Follow It Destiny. Once you are on the DUSD Library Services website homepage, just like I showed you before, if you scroll all the way down to the bottom, you will see each of your school site's logos or your mascots. Once you click on this, bring your arrow up and over, you'll see the little white glove. You'll be taken to our OPAC system, Follow It Destiny. So I'll go ahead and click on Washington Union. Many of you may be familiar with the original Destiny Classic. This is our brand new Destiny Discover page. We're going to go ahead and make sure that you are very intimately familiar with this new Destiny Discover, because this is the one that we really think that you will enjoy. As you can see, there's lots of really cool pictures on here that show you what books we have, so let's look at each of these. You can see your recently added books for Washington Intermediate School Library, and these are all the books that we are currently getting or just got in our library. You can see many of these, and you can sort by these by most recent, title, relevance, call number, author, published, or format. In this case, it comes up as most recent. As you can see right here, you have a little in or. If it's going to not be in, this will change to a red little triangle that says out. This either indicates that it is in the library and available, or it is currently out of the library because someone else has already reserved it. You can go back by this little back arrow up here in the left-hand corner. You can also see what some of our popular titles are, and you can see right here that that little red triangle out indicates that these books are not in the library right now. If you scroll down, you can also browse our books by topics: graphic novels, dystopian, fantasy, urban fiction, historical fiction, romance, poetry. These are things that you can search by just clicking on the little icon, and it'll bring you directly to all of the books that fall into that genre. Once again, you can see that it is either out or it is in. You can also sort by, once again, relevance, call number, title, author, most recent, published, or format. You can also filter these books by clicking on this little filter button. You can show availability. I only want to search the books that are in the library. You can search by subject. I only want to search by title. You can search by accelerating readers as well. What is your reading level? You can search by this. You can also search by series, and it gives you a list of those series right there, and much more. Now, let's say that you find a book that you would really like to check out. Well, you can either do that one of two ways. You can click directly on the book and you can see this right here. This is called your call number. You can write this down and bring it into the library with you, or you can put it on hold. So let's go ahead and show you how to do that. Once you log in by using this upper right-hand corner, you can see that I already have my credentials put in there. You will put in your credentials, which is your DUSD library or your DUSD credentials for the whole district. So what you use to log on to Google and your email. And all you're going to do then is just push the submit button. If you don't know or can't remember your login credentials, please just go ask your site library technician. Once you log in, once again, up here in the upper right-hand corner, you'll see that your name is indicated here, right up here at the top. And again, if you would like to put a book on hold, all you have to do is click on that book, and you'll notice that here, 2 new areas have been added, hold or favorite, right next to the call number. If I'd like to put this book on hold, all I have to do is click on it. And down here at the bottom, you'll notice that it says it became on hold for me. You can also find this right up here. If you look right up at the top, there's a number 1 that just happened. If I click the 3 lines, my main menu will appear, and my 1 notification comes up on holds, and it shows me that I have a hold ready. Holds will expire. So if this book is already out because someone's already asked for it or someone already currently has it out, then you'll notice that it says that your hold's going to expire on October 25th, which means that if the book has not been turned in by then, you will need to rehold the book. However, let's say that I didn't mean to hold this book. All I have to do is click unhold, and it'll take away the hold on the book. If I come back to Destiny Discover main page, once again, if a book is out but I really wanted to read that book, I can request that book to be put on hold, which means once that book is turned back in, I will get a notification from my library saying that my book is ready for me. If you scroll down past the Browse by Topics portion, you'll notice that we have something called Lightbox. This is something that all of our teachers and students might be interested in. This is a great way for you to have an interactive book experience, which means that once I click on this, you'll notice instead of the word open, or instead of the word hold, it says the word open, which means that if I click on this, it'll take me to an interactive book. And all I do is click on Open Lightbox. Once here, you can see that the book is not a very long book, but it has a lot of really neat features. Everything from audio to videos, activities, web links, slideshows, transparencies, Google Maps, quizzes, and more. There's also a lot of supplemental materials here for you as well. Going back to Destiny, we also have some ebooks available too. These ebooks are here available for you to check out. And if you notice, they all say in because ebooks are a wonderful way for you to just be able to find something, and they're available to everybody all the time. The other really great thing is if, let's say, you love the Dork Diaries. Well, maybe you want to try something new. Right over here on the side, you'll find You May Also Like. And you'll notice that it has different You May Also Likes for all of our different books. Some of our new books don't have them yet, But you can also, if it doesn't have it, ask your school site library technician for help with recommendations on books. If you need any further assistance with Destiny, either the classic version or Destiny Discover, please don't hesitate to come into the library and ask any one of your library staff members for assistance. In this section, we will be discussing some basic research strategies that you might use when looking online or on our resources. So let's go ahead and start with some of our resources. Once you go ahead and get onto the DUSD Library Services website, and you go to one of the resource tabs, you can scroll all the way down and locate our online resources. Remember, all you have to do is click on the picture to log on, and you may or may not need to log in. In this case, let's look at research and contents. You will need a password to log in. Once here, you can see that there's a couple of different ways to find some topics. One is Gale has some very featured topics that they will go ahead and change out from time to time, depending on what you may or may not be looking at or what they're seeing. A lot of people are searching. You can also browse by topic, and you can browse all the topics. So here is with the link that you can browse all topics, or they have some kind of just generalization ones that they've put together for you. But let's say you don't see anything on there that you've been looking for. So you can come up here to search. Now this is your basic search engine. This is like you're looking at Google. So if you were to type in something like World War II, you can see that it tries to narrow down the search for you a little bit, but you just want to look up World War II. So you type that in and you click enter, or you click on the magnifying glass. What you'll see first is that there will be a very general concept of World War II, and you can click on that and read a little bit more. Or you can come down here and look up different references, or look up different sources. You can see there's references, biographies, images, magazines, videos, news, and primary sources. The nice thing about using a database over just normal Google, though, is that these are vetted information sources, which means that you can trust that they're credible and reliable. If you were to do this and just look on Google, while you may find a lot more search results, what you may or may not have to do is kind of sort through all the junk. This way, you're finding things that are credible and reliable, and you know that's going to be accurate. But let's say that World War II was too much. It's too broad of a topic, and you're finding that you're not really finding what you're wanting. You can come over here to the word advanced. This is going to help us narrow down our search so that way you can really make sure that you're finding what you want and you're not wasting your time. So in this case, let's go ahead and look up World War II again. Once again, you'll notice that just like in our basic search engine, it's going to try to help us narrow it down. But you don't really see what you're looking for, so you keep it at World War II. You can keep that keyword search, or you can narrow it down by here. But let's say you don't really understand this. Then keep it at keyword. I'll go ahead and give you some suggestions on what you can do down below and more options that might help you narrow down. I want to look for full text documents, which means that I'm not going to look for something that's not full. I want to be able to read the whole thing and really make sure that what I'm reading is what I need. But let's say that I have a directive in my assignment that I have to find resources that have been only made in the last 5 years. So I'll go here to the year, and we're in 2018, and I'll backtrack to 5 years. Now, I won't put a date or a month. I just care if it's just 2013, right? So it's just 5 years. I can also put on. I'm looking for something very specific. I can do after. I want something that's older. I want something that's reliable, that's been around for a while. Or I can look for a between, which means that I'm looking for something in between 2 years or 2 dates. But in this case, I want something just before. You can also look for document type. There are hundreds of different types of ways that you can look up document types. There's world maps, young adult, references, pamphlets, mission statements, meeting transcripts, all sorts of things. Now, I don't want to narrow it down that much, so I'm going to leave that one blank for now, but I can also search by content type. Now, in this case, I want to look for primary sources because that's something that I had a directive in my assignment. I want to look for only primary sources. And in this case, I'm going to leave everything else blank, but you can narrow down by publication title, publication subject, content level, or Lexile reading levels. And I'm going to go ahead and click search. Now, as my results pop up, as you notice, I'm only going to get my primary sources. And everything that I searched for in my advanced search is right up here at the top in my search terms. So let's say, you know what, there's not enough primary sources. 107 is a lot, but maybe it's not enough for you. So all I'm going to do now is I'm going to say my content type. I want to look for things other than primary sources. It's going to keep all of my other limitations. Mine less than, my need must be a little more relevant, 2013 or more, or earlier, and I still want full text. If you notice just right over here on the right-hand side menu, all of our different types of ways that you can search and all of our different resources are here on the topic World War II. References, biographies, images, videos, audio, magazines, and news. So once again, this is just a little overview of how to do a general search or how to kind of narrow it down and do a little bit more of an advanced search. But if you ever need any assistance in using any of our online databases, please feel free and please feel welcome to come in and ask for help from either myself or a library site technician. Now, let's go ahead and take a look at if you are wanting to Google something, right? That's kind of our general, we want to search the web for some resources. Google is a great way to start to identify some topics to start narrowing down maybe for an assignment. But a lot of times you're going to have to sort through a lot of just trash, things that aren't credible or reliable, things that are not primary or secondary resources. So let's go through maybe some ways that you can still use Google. Maybe you don't like our databases and that's okay. Or maybe our databases aren't finding what you're really looking for. If that's the case, let's maybe find some ways that Google can be of assistance to you. So right up here, obviously my search engine that I use is Google. So we're just going to use that one for today. And once again, we're going to use our topic of World War II. And I just want to search. Now, a couple things are going to pop up that you may not see if you're using a home computer, or if you're using one of the school computers, it's going to look very similar. But one of the things I want to point out to you first and foremost is this. You have about 700 million results that just came up for World War II. That's a lot, and you're really not going to have the time nor the desire to go through all of those. So let's look at maybe how you can narrow that down. You can either, one, come back up here, and just like in Gale, in our online database that we just went through, you're going to see that they're going to try and narrow this down for you. You may find exactly what you're looking for. Maybe you're looking for the causes of World War II. Maybe you're looking at who won World War II. But what you're really looking for is a way to narrow that down if nothing pops up for you there. So you can do this one of two ways. You can either come over here to settings, and you can come down here to advanced search. What advanced search is going to do, it's going to look very similar and have some similarities to Gale resources or ProQuest resources and how to narrow down those advanced search engines as well. But in this case, you're going to see some things that are different. So let's go and talk about that. You can type in all of the words that you want to find that has anything to do with World War II, just like you would in a normal search engine. This means that it's going to look for anything that has the words World War II in it. You can look for an exact word or phrase. The problem with this one, though, is that if it's too exact or too long, you're going to narrow down your search to some results that may get you nothing at all. So be very careful with this one. You can have something that says any of these words, none of these words, or numbers ranging from. That one's get a little more tricky, so if you're going to use this one, please come and ask for help. You can then, so let's just say you want to leave that, you can then narrow your search down more. If you're looking for specifically language, region, last updated. This means that the website has been current and accurate, and it's very current and relevant material. This is a good one if you're looking for a subject matter on science, because sometimes our books that we look for or old encyclopedias, sometimes they're a little outdated already. If we look up for something in the past year, that means this is something that's been updated within the past year. So if you're looking for very relevant material, this is a great thing to do. Or you can just keep that to any time. Same thing with terms appearing, safe search file type, anything along those lines. So in this case, I'm just going to put the past year just to try and see what we can find. And I'm just going to put search. Now, what you're going to find is that you're going to see this this is going to dwindle down a lot. So it's not going to be as crazy as what you saw before. You're still going to see things like videos and news articles, images, books, things like this. This is kind of the second way to start narrowing down. It doesn't have things as specific like in our online database as researching evidence for references and biographies and encyclopedias. This is going to be a little more general. News articles, videos, images, books. But one of the things I want to show you, and I'm going to go ahead and just take away our advanced search engine. And I want to go ahead and show you I'm going to change my topic here to cats, which is just very general, right? Just very, very general. I want to show you this right here. This is our Chrome extension that is on all of our Chromebooks here at the school sites. And if you notice, it says guest searching is disabled for the site. So we're going to go ahead and log in, and we can do that by just going right down here. And this is going to take us to our OPAC system, Destiny. And I'm going to log in, right? Just like we would if we're trying to log in to look up a book online on our OPAC system. Now, once I do that, instead of trying to search on Google and search on here, I just want to be able to find all of what I have to offer. So once I'm all logged in, I come back here to my search engine, Google, and my topic of cats that I started searching. You're going to see that actually all the books that we currently have here at Washington Intermediate pop up. And you can look through this as our books or websites, anything like that. And you can go ahead and actually click directly on this, and it'll bring you to the area on Destiny Discover for you to be able to hold that book. So you can come into the library. A lot of times for assignments, your teachers are going to ask you for not just online sources that you find, but actual print resources too. So now that we have the Chrome extension on all of our Chromebooks for you to be able to use the Google search engine and look up your topic, you're going to be able to find both. You're going to be able to find both very quickly and very easily. So by doing this, and not just the advanced search options, you're going to be able to locate your sources much quicker and much easier. A way to then make sure that you are narrowing things down is to start thinking about what exactly do you want? What is the topic of your assignment? What is the help or what is the general idea that you really need to start conveying? If you need help ever to narrow down this topic, so once again, cats, it's very general. It's just going to bring you up everything, the whole 9 yards. But let's say you need to find something very specific. Let's say you need to look up big cats, right? I'm just going to type in the word big. And all of a sudden, different things pop up. It kind of narrows that down a little bit more for you. It starts talking about big cats, not necessarily domestic cats. And maybe from there you say, oh, okay, well, I need to find very relevant documents on big cats' habitats. So I'm going to look up habitat. And that's going to start bringing me up things. And if you notice, it's going to start dwindling down your Destiny Discover options. But that's okay, because maybe you already found some print materials that you really needed or really wanted. And here you can find that it's actually going to start to bring down your search topics. Now, I do want to advise you, it's not going to bring up necessarily websites that you are going to find relevant or necessary in your top ones. Google, as well as other search engines, are going to filter your top topics, your top results as things that you, based on your past researches. So let's say you've just gone on and you clicked on a bunch of stuff that maybe was not very good or relevant content in the past. It's going to look at that history and say, oh, this is something they've looked up before, so I'm going to do this again. So in this case, my first one's TripAdvisor. Big cat habitat in Gulf Coast Sanctuary. That may not be exactly what I'm looking for. I'm looking for current relevant material that I can use and that are based on facts. What are the facts of the habitats? So I'm going to keep going. Big cat, that's the same thing. Don't want it. Not really looking for it. So then we keep going down. I'll tell you now, if you're looking at the end, if you're looking here at the whole kit and caboodle, you're seeing the link that'll take you to that source. You're going to see the URL, and you're going to see a bit about the article. You're going to see the publication date and a little bit of information about it. So what you're looking for when you actually do go and you see your results is look at the title. First and foremost, if it's not something that you're going to want, go right on past it. But if you're like, I don't know, maybe that is what I'm looking for. Come down here and look at the URL first. If you're looking for some very current and relevant and accurate information, you want to look here at the end of the URL of this main URL portion, which is the .com. Google.com, mustdo.com. .coms are not necessarily going to be your references that you're looking for, your sources that you're looking for. Some ones that you can look for are .edus, .orgs. Those are a lot of time going to be your ones that you want to look for because they're your experts in the field. And I use experts loosely, but there are ways that those are two websites that you can look for very quickly that kind of identify, oh, I should use this, or no, I should not use this. So as we go down and we just keep looking, .com, but maybe we see the world's 7 big cats and where to see them in the wild. Ooh, maybe that might interest you. So we look at this one and we look, oh, the publication date's been pretty recent, so hopefully that's pretty good material. But let's go ahead and now take a look at the definition. Maybe this is what you're looking for, maybe it's not. But when you go ahead and you click on one of these links and you look at one of these links, there are certain things that you're really going to want to make sure that you're looking for in terms of the website. And you can ask more about this from your at your school site library, either from our school site library technicians or myself. But that's just some ways that you can help to start narrow down your search topics. Your advanced, using Google and looking up through your advanced options, and then also having that wonderful Chrome extension to also find any of your print materials in your library. Once again, please don't ever hesitate to email or call or just come into the library and ask for help. We are here to help you, and we want to make sure that all your research needs are met and that you don't waste your time kind of looking through some stuff that you really don't need. We can definitely help you narrow your search down and make sure that you are finding current and relevant and good material for you to use in your assignments. We will be discussing plagiarism and copyright. Now, many of you have probably heard of one or both of these words before. But do we really understand the meaning behind each of these words, or do we really understand the difference between them? To try and make a difficult subject as easy to understand as possible, I'll put it as simply as this. Plagiarism deals as an ethical issue of taking someone's work without giving them credit. And copyright deals with stealing someone's work knowingly and trying to make money from it because you say that it's yours and that you created it. One is an ethical issue and one is a legal issue. So why should we care? Well, right now or in your future education, plagiarism will play a big role when you write a paper, do a project, or complete an assignment. In the real world, if you write, make, or create something, knowing your copyrights are important for your protection. And likewise, if you do try and create something, someone out there may have already done it, and you need to be aware of their rights so you don't get sued. So let's look a little bit more into plagiarism first, as this may be more pertinent information for you right now. When you are writing a paper or doing a project, you have probably been told you need to cite your work. But what does this mean? Well, this means that you're giving credit where credit is due. When you look online or in a book for information, you're looking to others for help from their knowledge. This means that if you find a good piece of information and write it down to use it, you need to also give credit to that person or persons whose information it is. Now, let's say you're not going to use a quote, but you just thought the information was good. Do you still need to cite the book or online source? The answer is yes. Even if you are not using a quote, but you just found the information to be good, it is influencing your writing still, so you must cite it. But where? Well, there could be 2 places that you need to cite this information, either in the body of a paper or in your bibliography or reference sheet. What information do you need to put in this citation can vary though. Some of the styles that you may have been asked to use before are things like MLA, APA, or Chicago style. To find more information and resources on how to cite these styles, please see our DUSD Library Services website found on your school site homepage. You can also ask your site library technician for help locating this. So what else do you have to cite? Well, anything that you use. This could be books, websites, ideas, journals, news articles, pictures, and the list goes on. It is important to understand that if you choose to not cite something, then you are knowingly plagiarizing. It is also important to note that if you don't know you're plagiarizing, you're still plagiarizing. So it is important to make sure that you're writing down your sources that you're utilizing for your assignment. So what happens if you plagiarize? Well, once again, this is an ethical issue and not a legal issue. So while you won't get sued, it is the DUSD policy to give you a failing grade for that assignment and put the incident on your record. If it is a one-time occurrence, then this will be all that happens. If it is a multiple offense, you could be kicked out of the course, or if you go into college, you could get kicked out of the college. More importantly, though, you may lose the trust of your teachers. Remember, this is an ethical issue, so if you are choosing to plagiarize, then you are lying about your work and where it came from, which means you have broken the trust between teacher and student, and sometimes this is harder to fix than a grade. So let's talk about copyright. Copyright may have a much larger role to play as your time when you are not a student. Knowing the basics of copyright may just very well protect your writings and creations and works one day. Copyright is a legal issue, which means that someone can sue you if you try and take someone else's work, claim it as your own, and make some money off of it. We have all heard of things like bootlegging, pirating, and lawsuits of musicians who are claiming someone else stole their songs. These are all cases of copyright infringements, and it means that someone could come after you legally for money. While there are many layers to understanding copyrights, knowing that you need to pay to use or have someone else's work is important. It could not only save you legally in the long run, but it could also protect you if you're on the other side of that coin. If you do have any other questions regarding copyright or plagiarism, please see the online resources in the DUSD Library Services website or ask your site library technician. Last but not least, please don't ever forget that you are more than welcome, and we would love to be able to help you out with any of your questions that you may have. We do have our library hours posted on our school website under the Library tab, located here. We also have them on our Destiny Discover and our Destiny Classic page as well, located here. This is what they look like. You can also please feel free to not just come on in during library hours, but email us or call us for our teachers at any time that you may need during our operating hours. Remember, we are here to help you. We want to make sure that you have everything that you need for your research needs, for your pleasure reading needs, your makerspace needs, your supplemental material needs. We are here for you. If you need anything, please come and see us. We can't wait to see you.